Last year I graduated Harvard University. As Adam said, it was the end of 4 years, 8 years of hard work. I had done everything I thought I was supposed to do, everything my parents told me I needed to do. Felt great. I was ready to take on the world. In a few months, I ended up working in Cambodia with the 24-hour race, working with organizations that were dealing with really, really difficult, heavy issues, trafficking of children, abuse, exploitation. And I got a call one day from one of the organizations that I had a relationship with. I was learning about what they were up to. And they said they needed my help. I said, sure, anything, guys. They said, well, we're working with the FBI in this case. We need you to help out. The FBI can't really do anything. We can't make an arrest on anything because there's limited evidence. It's just how Cambodia works. So we need you to just go help us out. So I'm just like, sure. So I go meet these people. And the FBI is there. They give me a little training. They just say, okay, here's what we need you to do. We need you to go into that restaurant. Here's what this guy looks like. Just be cool, be calm, don't worry about it. And just figure out who he's meeting, who he's talking to, and see if you can make any notes, see what you can remember. I was like, okay, I guess it sounds simple enough. But I go inside, and I'm freaking out. My hands are shaking, I'm sweating everywhere. I think everybody can tell exactly what I'm doing. I feel completely out of place. I just remember thinking to myself, how on earth did I get here? I'm in like a sweaty Cambodian bar. I graduated Harvard. I was ready to do something. I could have been in New York. I could have been in DC. I could have been in Boston at some sort of plush desk with a nice day job, with a nice career, a nice salary. But instead, I don't even know what I was doing. So I asked myself, after all these years, after all this hard work, what had a place like Harvard really prepared me for? So today I just want to talk about what is the other side. We work so hard, we compete with each other, we want to go to the best schools. But what's the other side of that? What does it mean to really go to one of these places? What do you encounter when you're there? And what does it mean to be there? So one thing I want to talk about is, what are we told as Harvard students? What are we told we're expected to be, we're expected to do? What is our place in the world? So there's a beautiful, beautiful wall surrounding the campus. If any of you ever have the privilege of going, Boston is a wonderful place. Harvard has a beautiful campus. And there's this old brick red wall surrounding the campus called Harvard Yard. And as you enter the main gate, there are some words above the gate as you enter, and it says, "Enter to grow in wisdom." Sounds nice, very beautiful. Not quite sure what wisdom is as a freshman coming into the campus, but I'm into it, great. And then as you leave, you turn around as you're leaving, and it says, "Depart to serve better thy country and thy kind." Enter to grow in wisdom. Depart to better serve thy country and thy kind. That's beautiful. That's really nice. I really like that. I have no idea what it means. Okay, wisdom, it's okay. I get it. It's intelligence, maybe some judgment. I'm going to learn a lot of things. And then, okay, when I leave, I'm going to better serve my country and my kind. Well, it's like a 200-year-old phrase, so thy country and thy kind might be a little outdated. I live in a globalized world. My kind in the 1800s, early 1800s America might have been a little more narrow than I want it to be today. But okay, that's okay. I can live with this. I kind of like it. I know what they want me to do. So what are we taught? Well, in American universities, most schools will have a liberal arts program, which means you don't get any job training, you're not getting vocational training, you're not being told how to interact with the job market, how to get a job, how to pay your taxes, how to do anything like that. Instead, you kind of get what we often jokingly refer to at Harvard as a cocktail party education. So I'll give you a few examples. So these are the 3 most popular courses at Harvard. Number 1, Computer Science 50, Intro to Computer Science. Okay, this was probably pretty useful. Anybody here take computer science? Do they have computer science at this school? Hands? Oh, they don't. I'm actually surprised. I feel like there's a lot of momentum to get computer science education in schools. Okay, great, important. I like that. Science of the Physical Universe 21, Science and Cooking, from Hot Cuisine to the Science of Soft Matter. This was a delicious class. We cooked ceviche, French toast. We kind of learned about what was the chemistry behind it. Like I said, I don't know, I'm never gonna have like that kind of sophisticated lab in my kitchen that we were using. So other than being able to talk about this is at like some sort of party or like a wedding or a reception, I don't know what it's gonna get me. Culture and Belief 22, the ancient Greek heroes. What? Don't get me wrong, I love Greek mythology, it's great, but there are 400 Harvard students in this class in a semester. Yeah, that's funny, we can laugh, yeah. So this is what we're taught. This is some of what we're taught. Yes, there are many, many courses at Harvard. These are just some of the more popular ones. You hear this in the DL, hey, did you do your Greek heroes reading? Nah, but I'll go to lecture, it'll be fun. So that's where we're entered. This is some of the wisdom we get. What about when we depart? What are we doing? So Harvard, like most, if not all, American universities, liberal arts, you're not taught how to get a job. You're not really exposed to what the economy looks like, what jobs are out there. Yeah, you know, we all thought sort of college was the pinnacle. College was it. You know, what do you do in high school? You try to get to college, and then you're in college, and all of a sudden, you're going to be leaving soon. And let me tell you something. It's horrifyingly frightening. It's really scary. I did not have a great time leaving college. So what do we do when we depart? Well, this is a huge, huge topic amongst Harvard students, amongst Princeton, Yale, Columbia, the Ivy League, all these elite American institutions. Everybody's going into consulting and finance. I don't know what consulting is. Does anyone know what consulting is here? Does anyone? Raise your hand. A few. Yeah, consulting in the dictionary is just like you consult somebody and you tell them what to do. I have no idea. I have no idea what these people are doing. And also finance. So if we look at this little graphic here, this is from my graduating class. It's the last bit. About 30% of my graduating class went into consulting and finance. These are, I think finance is a little bit more explicit, banking, different types of private equity investments, et cetera, and then consulting. But what's most interesting about this is you take these universities that, I'm sure you guys know this, talk a lot about diversity going in. We want a diverse student body. We want diverse interests. We want all this kind of thing. And then going out on the other side, it seems like a lot of people are going to the same place. You can see more so before the economic crisis, upwards of 40, 50%. I know at places like, this is just Harvard. I know at Princeton it was higher. I know Yale's pretty similar. So what's going on here? Why? It was great to follow Timothy. Why is this the definition of success all of a sudden when you leave a place like this? Now, there hasn't been a lot of formal research done on this topic. There's been a little bit. But I can tell you that in informal surveys of freshmen in dining halls, nowhere near 30% of people, when asked, hey, what do you want to do when you graduate this place, say, yeah, I want to go into consulting. Is that what you think when you're leaving high school? I'm going to go to college so that I can be a consultant? It's probably not what you're thinking. Again, this isn't to say that this is bad. Not at all. It's just a curious question to ask. How come these schools are taking in this diversity and pushing this out? So I want to tell you a story about a Harvard tradition I think you might like. It's called Primal Scream. Has anybody here heard of Primal Scream? We got one. Oh, I like that. Okay, two. Great. Okay, so Primal Scream is a tradition at Harvard. Every semester, before the final exams, on midnight when final exams begin, about 400 or 500 students gather in the yard, gather in the main campus at midnight, take off all their clothes, and run around. They say this is something you have to do before you graduate Harvard. So you go at 11:55, you still have like your towel on, and everybody sort of gathers in one area. I think I did black out the sensitive bits on the photo. And you run around just one big lap around the yard. It takes about, I wouldn't even know, it takes a minute, 2 minutes, you're just so pumped full of adrenaline. And the first time I did it, was in December, my freshman year. And I just remember, okay, we get there, we're all excited. There's hundreds of people. People are bringing instruments and drums, and people have flags, and everybody's really into it. And it's midnight. We all throw our pants away, just out into the grass. Nobody cares. And we start running around, and it's freezing. I don't even know. Everybody's screaming at each other. And then we get to the end. We get to the second lap, and I just keep going. I'm just so excited. I'm full of adrenaline. And I realize that it's one thing to run naked in December in Boston, surrounded by 400 other warm bodies, and you're feeding off of their adrenaline. But I then realized that only about 6 people decided to do a second lap. So there are all these tourists taking photos of now it's just me running alone naked at 12:30 through Harvard Yard, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll get arrested for this. Everybody's taking photos of me. All of a sudden, it's December in Boston, so it's really cold. I have another 2 minutes of running left because I can't just stop and then walk naked back to where I was. My feet are hurting because there are rocks on the ground. And sure enough, I make it back to the end, and all these people come up to me and they say, Sean, you did it wrong. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. The way you're supposed to do it, you're not supposed to go running around naked in the middle of a college just because you feel like it. I think this is the mentality, more so than anything that you encounter at a place like Harvard, that I want you guys to maybe think about as you go through your careers here. There's something you're supposed to do. There's a right way of doing things. You can't fail. You have to conform. You can't be different like that. If you're different, it's a failure. That's no fun. So when I think about enter to grow in wisdom, depart to better serve thy country and thy kind, I think about what have I learned? Am I ready for the world? I have this Harvard degree. I have this college degree. Does it really signify, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Does it signify that I'm ready for something? No, it doesn't. It's not a bad start, but it doesn't. I keep learning, I keep growing, and I keep pushing myself. And I think back to Primal Scream. I think to myself, something I don't tell you a lot is wisdom for me is really about trial and error. You're going to get stuff wrong. I always say, guys, make a few bad decisions. Go for it. Maybe not intentionally bad, but be okay with not making a perfect decision. Why? Because you have to invest in yourself. We talk about service. Harvard talks a lot about service. I don't think they really tell you what it is. It's okay to say it starts with yourself. If you're confident in yourself, if you believe in yourself, if you've invested in yourself, if you've taken time to get to know yourself. I think it's great to see, I'll just comment for a second on all the students here who've shared with us today. It's amazing how well they seem to explore and get to know what they believe, what they think, what they feel, what they're confident in, what they are interested in. Admire that, but also allow yourself to keep growing and keep building, because that's what I try to do every day. I have this degree. I feel like I'm ready for something. I'm not ready for so much more, but I'm going to keep on moving forward, and I hope that you guys could do it too. Good luck with everything in high school. Good luck beyond that. Thank you, guys.